We're here with assistant coach Frank Hjortebjerg. Frank, welcome to the new set of the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's looking good.
Looking good. Yeah, I know. Exciting to be here.
Beautiful. Moving up.
Moving up. So we'll go over a couple of, tactics and what we've learned from the last previous matches that have been played. But we'll also preview the home opener. First venture into MLS play for season 2 for San Diego FC. But first, just want to hear from you. What have the last 2 matches kind of looked like from your perspective?
2 very different matches, I'll say. We touched a little bit on it also before the competition started with the CONCACAF, that it could potentially be very different. And you already highlighted that it would probably be, which it was clearly. So we were fairly pleasant with the home game. We created a good game picture for us. Obviously, we had to fight our way back into it, but the game picture from an overall standpoint, from the beginning to the end, was pretty good. And then a totally different experience away, where we struggled from the first second, and we had to suffer a lot, and hopefully gain some valuable experience that we can put into play later on in the tournament. So 2 very different experiences.
Question. So what would you, as a player or as a coach now that's watched both games, what was the difference between the 2 games? Because for a common fan, they probably say, hey, it's the same, it's a soccer field, and obviously last year SDFC was so good on the road. What was different about the environment in Mexico? Was it the altitude? Did they come out stronger? Were you guys a little bit more, let's protect because we have a 4-1 lead? What was it?
So the idea was to try to create the same game picture as game 1. Obviously, we knew, and you guys know better than me, that the circumstances and the environment is different. So we also had prepared for that there might be moments in the game where we would be less on the ball, where we would have to defend more. But it was not the plan to do it.
Yeah.
So what was it? And that's the good question. I feel fairly certain that, of course, the altitude has something to do with it. Because just when I did a few passes,
I know.
I struggled.
Yeah. It's worse than like Colorado and Salt Lake, right? I feel like it is.
It was way more extreme. For me, it felt way more
Same.
extreme. And when you say altitude, it's not only about the breathing part and that you simply need more air than there is. It's also how the ball travels.
100%.
So obviously we traveled a few days before and had a training there. And already in the training we could see that, okay, some things are not going as smooth as normal. But still, okay, we don't know how the game will go once that starts. But then we simply never got to a point where we just had some sequences in the game that were in our favor. We were struggling big time from start to finish. And at one point during the second half, we were like, okay, now we just got to accept that this is the game picture.
Yeah.
Because
there's no fighting
now
there.
we tried.
Yeah.
We tried multiple different things. I don't know how many times I ran from the bench with the tactic balls out to Mikey, but I think it was a personal record. And
the whole time.
Absolutely. And in the locker room, we moved the magnets 20 times and we tried a lot of things.
Yeah.
But at one point, you're like, okay, now we just got to accept it. And of course, we could do that because we had the luxury from the first game. And then you could also say, okay, at least we managed to do that.
Yeah.
At least we managed to go there, accept the circumstances, and then take what we already have, and then pack it up, and then say, okay, let's learn from this, and then hopefully perform better next time.
Yeah.
Like
Did you know at the time after the first game, like how key it was to go up 3 goals, kind of going in? Were you guys like, all right, like we needed those last few goals, like that Bambino goal at the end was huge. You know?
So we had an idea that this could be the case for game 2, that we would struggle. So we knew that we would keep pushing in game 1.
Yeah, try and get up.
All the way to the end and get as much out of it as we could.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our idea going into it. Then you never know if it's possible, of course. But once we get the first and the second, everyone was like, okay, now is the time that we keep pushing.
Yeah.
Now we really keep pushing because we can really benefit from all the goals we can get from it. So we're finding the balance because we also know that the away goals can hurt us potentially, right? So we got to keep it at a certain balance, but we knew we wanted to push if we could.
What was one of the biggest tactical changes that you made in the second half of the game in Mexico City? Because when they played here, it was very, I would say, traditional. They're playing away from home. They go up 1 goal, and then they just turtle. There's all 11 of their players within 20 yards of their goal. And we kind of saw that with Vancouver. Who was it? Who did we play? Charlotte? Vancouver. Who likes to turtle in that we did
Minnesota.
last year? Minnesota. That was them. So they kind of did it. And then they just try to spring out and all that stuff. Right. So in the second half, in Mexico City, it's difficult to change up a game like that to a game away where they're just coming at you.
Yeah.
So what tactical changes were the players able to implement, knowing that they're not just going to turtle, they're actually coming at us, and it was a lot more spread out?
Yeah. So early on in the game, we could see that we could benefit from having a back 5. So defend with 5 players, because we were conceding crosses all the time, and they were very wide in their organizations, and they kept going around us. Because normally we have this 4-3-3 or 4-2-4 type of structure in our pressing, which we also wanted to begin with. But they kept going around us, and we couldn't put pressure on the ball in the wide areas. So naturally we conceded crosses. So the idea was, okay, we can go to a back 5, and then we know that we can release with the wingbacks, because they will have a wider starting position, so it will be easier for them to go and put pressure. But what will that do to the first line of pressure? Okay, they will probably have to be a little lower, because we're 1 man less in the first 2 lines. And we also saw that we were able to get some transitional moments where we were 1v1 with the keeper to potentially score that 1 goal.
Yeah.
That we knew if we get the 1, they would have to score 6.
A lot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Pellegrino hit the post twice, didn't he?
He hit the post twice.
Yeah.
So we were in a really good position if we could just get the 1. So the dilemma was all the time, tactically the line of 5 makes sense, but this also means that we then accept to be lower and potentially not have as many transitional moments. Yeah. So if we only look at us, okay, we had a result from the first game. We could, early on in the game, say, okay, we'll just be lower in our positions. We'll defend with 5. We'll be able to put more pressure on the ball. But then we probably already give up creating our game picture. And we probably give up the possibility of scoring on a transition.
And that's smart, because you score 1 goal, like you said. You score 1 goal, and now it pretty much puts the game away.
And it was very close that we got that 1 goal. Yeah. But then, like I said, as the second half then progressed, and we tried different changes without going to a back 5, we could also see, okay, now there's 15 minutes left. We have Ian Pilcher on the bench.
Yeah.
We have a result. Let's do the back 5. Yeah. And then just
close it.
Close it off.
Yeah.
So, and that's also a good learning for a young squad, a young club, to be able to do that in these type of competitions.
That's about a shifting and moving, and for the team to adjust to that so quickly, that's like leads to a lot of.
Well, there's a lot of players, that hadn't played in that type of environment in Mexico, right, or Central America. So. Yeah, it was a good experience for then the next game and then future, CONCACAF Champions Cup. So it was a good experience to get a result out of it.
Yeah. Hopefully we
2026, man. Jeez.
Well, you'll be in a similar situation with now advancing to the round of 16 to play Toluca. So now, what learnings can you take from this past match, both home and away, into that scenario?
Yeah. So I think, like you also touched on, for a lot of us, it was the first. Yeah. And it's always good to get that experience, because now the element of surprise is a little bit away for the next game. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. And then we have all these tactical adjustments, talks, discussions that of course we can benefit from going into the next game. And then we gotta get Toluca. We gotta get to know them a little bit better before I can really say how much we can use and how much we can't. But I think just that part of having the experience and having been there before, also for myself, I think that's a good starting point leading into the next one. We already feel better prepared, I'm sure.
I mean, you've got a couple MLS opponents in between before playing that next match. Yeah. So let's talk about home opener. Montreal, a team that this team hasn't played yet before, and a new opponent. What can you tell us about the preparation for this Saturday's match?
Yeah, so an opponent that we're just really starting to learn about because we had focused on Pumas, of course, like you just touched on. So from what I've seen and from what I understand, a team that is fairly interesting, does a lot of things a bit out of the ordinary, you can say, maybe, or at least a bit different. So we, for example, when the way they defend, we expect them to have something a bit like we experienced with Toronto, San Jose, like a very aggressive, man-orientated type of pressing that we need to solve. And then the way they build up, they have some similarities to us. So they overload the center a lot with a lot of players low and close to the ball. So that's some of the things that we started to look at and started to prepare.
Do you look at Duke for a little bit of if there's a method beside the madness, because he just came from there? Ask him like, so what are you going to do?
Conversations at lunch.
What are they going to do right there?
Not so much yet, but I'm sure in the locker room for sure that conversation is going on. Absolutely, but
signs for corners. He's like, if he touches the flag, it's going near. If he doesn't hit, it's going long.
Those are the classic ones.
Yeah,
that you always look to get a little advantage. But at least from in the coaches' room, we haven't talked too much with him yet. But maybe we'll do it.
Yeah, get in there.
How different does it feel going into an MLS season opener this year with now having 2 matches that have had significance towards playing towards a big tournament under your belt?
Yeah. You feel a little bit more certain in where you are as your own group and as a team, and it's not like you could say that these 2 games against Pumas were compared to last year was the last 2 games of preseason. So now we're already up and running, but then you also know that each game has its own individual life, and like we just talked a lot about that Pumas game away was very different, and I'm pretty sure we will create a very different game picture against Montreal at home. But at least we are up and running and up and firing. Now we're just looking forward to going back to Snapdragon again and kick off the season.
I was going to ask you, what are you looking forward to? Year 2 in the MLS, year 2 for you in the MLS here as well. Yeah. What are you personally looking forward to in this new season?
Now I think we gotta show consistency, and we gotta show that we can take steps. For sure, we will not catch Montreal by surprise, and that element of surprise for all the other teams is now out for us. And now we gotta show that we can build on what we did last season, and be an even stronger group, and still able to develop our style of play and have players performing at a higher level throughout the season. So we're excited about that, and I think we're in a good place to do that. I think I really look forward to seeing this group develop and evolve, and I think we will also see some individuals take the next steps.
How do you think these new guys are adjusting?
Very well. Obviously, they had to be up and running a lot faster than usual because we had these 2 games, and some of them already got playing time. Yeah. So I think for all the new guys, they're in a good position also.
You talked about wanting to build upon last year. I mean, having such a good year last year, like what is it that like you're looking for the what is the next step? Obviously, you could talk about winning the whole thing, but like from a game point or a game model, what is going to be different this year than last year?
So, for example, we've started to prepare a lot on how we manage the games, because, again, you guys know this by far better than me, that there is certain moments in the game where you gotta play the result, or you gotta manage the circumstances, a bit like we did already in Pumas. So last year we were very much aware of our style of play principles. 100% from first second to the last second. And we didn't want to touch on that because we had to get very good at that first. Whereas now we're also finding the nuances and the balance of how do you then manage the games and the moments within the games. So a very clear example would be for the defenders, for example. There will be moments where you just don't play the pass that we normally play.
Yeah.
Because now it doesn't make sense. For example, you have your back towards the goal. You're in an uncomfortable position. Even though I want you to look to play this pass to your center back, Now you're just in a moment where you don't do it.
Yeah.
So let's not
Little less stubborn
risk it.
in your game style.
Exactly, when it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Without losing our identity and everything we're good at, but just those little moments. And I'm sure if you're not within the depth of what we do, you'll never notice it.
You won't even notice it.
You'll not even notice it. And that's the whole point, because we got to stay completely true to who we are, the style of play and all these things. So we're not speaking about negotiating those parts, but we're speaking about developing the team where we can manage the moments in the games, I'll say.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for us, being very consistent and even better at our style of play than we were in last season, but also finding the moments within the game to take the logical decision.
Yeah. Great.
And discipline with flexibility and creativity.
Yeah. I mean that's the cornerstone for us is to have a clear identity and to know what we want to do. So that creates room for creativity and flexibility within for the individual player.
Last time we chatted with you before CONCACAF, we had mentioned that there were, obviously a lot fewer new faces in this space, but, having many more teachers of the style of play to be able to bring people in. And then you see in that first CONCACAF match, you see two players get not only their SDFC debut, but then also their professional debut. What do you think it is about this club that allows for that? I know we've talked about it before, but allows for that ability to be able to be trusted in those moments so early on?
I think it's because we have a very collective way of thinking about the game and a very collective way of playing within style of play principles. So you might not be good enough in other clubs, but because you are good at playing together with your teammates, you are more than good enough here. I think that's a short version of it, because here you have to be good at playing with your teammates. You cannot just be good on your own or a good individual player. You have to make your teammates better, and you have to make the team better. Huge credit to the guys behind the squad who find the players, because that they manage to find players that are very good at playing together with their teammates, that they can go in so fast. And then, of course, because we know exactly what we wanted to do, and we have more teachers of the style of play now, so it's even easier for us as coaches, because everyone has a more clear idea of what we want. But it's the ability to find players that are good at playing together with the teammates and making them better.
I love that. Marv loves that too. Marv still wishes that he could play for this team, that he could come out of retirement and come play for SDFC.
When you have these young guys coming up, sometimes you have to tell them to slow down on the pitch. Because I know coming out of college, it was go, go, go. We're in the gym all the time, and we want to be more physical athletes and just run as much as we can. If we're not running, we're not trying. So when they come here, obviously the training sessions are really technical and critical and all that stuff. Sometimes you're like, no, slow down a little bit and start to think faster, move slower.
It's actually a very interesting conversation about the whole football in this country and this league, and how you develop footballers that you just touch on here. And yes, we sometimes have to tell them to slow down, because some of these guys coming from academies and playing tournaments all around the world where you have to show yourself.
Yep.
And we all know that scouts looks for that that guy who does the extraordinary thing. But for us, sometimes, or many times, you don't have to do extraordinary things to play an extraordinary game. So
to get noticed, right? I think sometimes they feel like they need to get noticed by doing those things.
Absolutely.
But if you're a good scout and you see it, you can see a player on the field do the right things.
That's my point exactly about the guy who recruits players for our team and for our group, that they do such a good job of finding not necessarily those players that stand out because of these extraordinary individual actions, but because they can play within the group. But of course, we also have young guys coming from within our own academies or from the other clubs who thinks, okay, now I got to prove myself from minute one.
Yeah.
And the way you prove yourself here is to show that you're a good teammate. And I know it can sound a little romantic, and I didn't mean to do it, but that is a bit part of how we see it. So yeah, sometimes you have to tell them to, like, of course you don't want to take their eagerness away and the ambition and the willingness to prove yourself, but the best action is not necessarily always the one where all cylinders are firing 100%. So. Yeah.
Well, we're so excited to get MLS Season 2 underway with this team. So much success in year one. I think everyone's just excited to see this team back in action at Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Please be there. You get to see a new opponent in Montreal. So excited to have everybody back, and so excited to have everyone back here in our new set.
Yeah.
Let's go, squad.
Thank you, Frank, again for our match preview presented by Alaska Airlines. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. As the official specialty insurance partner of San Diego FC, Palomar offers standalone earthquake insurance that protects property and peace of mind. It's crucial to be prepared. Visit plmr.com or contact your insurance agent for a quote. Palomar, reimagining specialty insurance with innovative, creative solutions. Hey everyone, it's Kaila Brins-Hefner here. This year, our podcast is going to have a little bit of a different look to it and a little bit of a different format. We'll still be giving you coach interviews. We're just going to be dropping them on matchday -2 ahead of our next match. We're also going to be giving you some more content from our media availability held every matchday -2. This week, you're going to be hearing from Jeppe, Aníbal, and Mikey and Anders ahead of our home opener versus Montreal.
How excited are you for the season opener?
Very. I feel like we have started a little bit early with the CONCACAF tournament and kind of the build up to that first game. But now it really gets started. So all the last details and everything is getting set to start at Snapdragon. So we are excited.
What do you know about Montreal, and how confident are you can come away with a win?
Oh, we look at a lot of videos. Been doing for a while. It's always when first game, you kind of feel like the lead up to that game, and the video and all the data takes 2, 3, 4 more weeks than usual because you have so long lead up. So we feel like we kind of have an idea what they'll bring. It's up to us to. Some of the things we've been working on here is their press and their man-to-man, the way they probably will go is how we solve that. So that's for sure going to be a challenge for us.
What do you expect from teams this year now that they've had a whole season of film on you and seen how your unique style of play? Do you expect to see more low blocks? Do you expect to see different types of pressing, maybe what Vancouver tried? Do you think teams will try to do different things to you?
Yeah, for sure. I think we felt that actually during the first season already, after a couple of games, that people noticed how we would play and our style. And I think it changed a little bit. Vancouver was very good at the kind of waiting high press, where some people were a lot low block, and a lot of guys were also man-to-man, basically, around the field. So I think we're going to face a lot of different ways teams are going to play against us, and that's what you have to do as a club. You have to evolve also with people evolving to what you've done, basically.
And how about expectations for the season, especially considering how successful last year was?
Yeah, we're building still, and I feel like we ended up in a very good place last year. Both games, but also training sessions, very, very high level. And of course, as the season stops, some players go out, some new comes in, and you have to get everybody aligned 100%. And I think that goes for every team. That usually, as the season goes, you get better and better. But I think for us, we were in a very good place at the end of the season, and for us, it's just building on that. So very, very confident and very, looking forward to the season. Especially last year, we had a month, 6 weeks before first game. Now we felt like we've had a year together to build. So very excited.
So with that in mind, how much better can you be early in the season since you're not all basically learning each other's names as you go into your first game?
Yeah, it's a good point, and that's one of the things we feel like last year we started lower, you can say, and now we've started on another standard because we had the whole of last year. So it's for us to also keep pushing and not just being at that level, but actually also take the next step from last season. So, as I said, we feel very confident that we feel like the relations now are kind of set and built in. So, the performances and results hopefully also should come based on that.
Mikey speaks a lot about growth mindset and developing. How do you feel you've grown from last year into this season on an individual?
I think first year was so special for the club, of course, but also for us players, being a part of kind of having to know everybody, getting all these first, a new facility. It's first stadium for all of us, also going there playing those first games and stuff. So I think as a person, being part of that whole experience was special because you know you're not going to be it in any other club, basically, wherever you go. It was special being part of the first season and learning and developing and seeing the progress, because it felt like the progress we did last year was bigger steps than you ever done in any of the other clubs you've been at, because you came from scratch. So just grateful for being part of it and happy it went as it did, but of course also a little bit sad that we couldn't end it in the end.
Yeah, as captain of the team, what is your message to the team in the locker room ahead of this opening game?
Yeah, it's that we need to build and we need to have the same mindset as we had the first year, because the first year was the first year and everybody was very hyped and it was a special year, but we can't allow ourselves to drop right now. We need to maintain the same standards, and that goes here, that goes in the gym, that goes however we've gone with ourselves around the pitch and off the pitch. So we need to hold ourselves now to a standard, which seemed a little bit easier last year because we had so many new stuff and exciting first games. But now we need to withhold that.
You guys signed a right to dream academy player today that now makes 5 teenagers as part of the first team. How important is it for this club to kind of implement those young stars and get their action, especially when you guys have so many veterans on the team as well?
Yeah, it's part of the whole family, the Right to Dream family, both from Denmark, Ghana, and Egypt, and that's a strategy here that we get some young guys. That's also a big part. Extremely talented, so they are already very schooled and very very good and can contribute from first day. So it's an advantage for us, and that's something everybody also within the squad as players needs to be aware of, because we need to benefit from it, and hopefully we will very soon, and you'll also see that with Brian.
Last question. You play their preseason games, kind of exhibition matches. Now you've got 2 real matches under your belt with CONCACAF. How big an advantage is that to go out and play meaningful matches before you come to your season opener?
Yeah, it's a huge advantage for us now. If we have been knocked out, it probably wouldn't have been. But now we feel like we're in rhythm. Also got a good win at home to build confidence also for our fans, because it was a long time ago they've seen us play on home soil. So now it feels like, as I said before, the first 2, 3, 4 weeks leading up to the first game is kind of what we did to the first 2. So now we need to strive and get going and get points on the board.
Went high and tight with the haircut.
Yeah, fast.
And more aerodynamic?
Yeah, I hope so. No, tired of the long hair, and now I cut it, and then easy. It will grow out again.
How ready are you for the season?
Very ready. Felt ready now for a couple of weeks. Short pre-season. For me, that's okay. Did the stuff in holiday to prepare myself for a short pre-season, and then ready to go now on Saturday, and just looking forward to a long season with hopefully a lot of games.
How do you, if possible, improve on what you did last year?
Hopefully we as a group, the players, staff as well, we can continue what we did last year. It's going to be tough. A second year for a team is always tough. You see that a lot when a club promote as well in Europe, and then the next year is tough. So it's a little bit what we maybe can face this season. teams are maybe preparing a little bit more for what's ahead when they play against us, and then we just have to be consistent in the way we play and keep doing that, and then work hard every day out here and in the weekend.
And then individually, you were kind of figuring out Major League Soccer last year, and I have a really good handle on it. What does that mean for you, and what have we not seen yet from Anders Dreyer still in the tank?
No, I think I have a lot more to show, and I'm preparing and I'm ready for that. Of course, last year was very good. I know that, but I hope and I believe that I can keep it up and keep, of course, scoring goals, assisting my teammates, and hopefully win a lot of games, which is the most important thing for me, is that we win games and compete in the top bracket.
What do you mentioned a little bit, teams will probably play you a little bit differently, more attention to you. What do you think teams will do differently against you?
That's tough to say, but I think people will probably watch some of the games last season. I think teams in the end of the season tried to do different kind of tactic against us. It could be man-man or staying low in a block of 5-4-1 or 5-3-3. So that's something we have prepared in pre-season, that sometimes we can face that in games, and how can we solve that. Last year we were riding a little bit on that wave that everything was going great and all that, and now we start a new season as winner of the West Conference last year. So of course we cannot slack or anything. We have to keep going and work hard, especially out here.
And how much does it change for you not having Chucky on the opposite side, sort of a counterbalance with defenses can't just slant and shift and pay more attention to you?
Yeah, of course. I think, of course, my relationship with Chucky last year when he was available was great. He assisted a lot of goals for me. I assisted a lot of goals for him. But yeah, I think we have guys who showed also last season that they are ready to take that role and responsibility that he took, and then hopefully they can do the same or even more this season. But yeah, let's see.
How much do you think about the CONCACAF Champions game against Toluca? They are champions twice in a row, What can you say about that in your mind, because you go step by step?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough game. Like you said, they're champions 2-3 times in a row. 2 times in Mexico, and that's incredible. So it's going to be tough. Of course, we have MLS games now. So I think we will, like I said, I like to play a lot of games and don't practice too much. But to play a lot of games, and now we play games and we will play sometimes 3 games in a week. But yeah, of course, I'm looking forward to play against Toluca.
And now the people look you as one of the best players of the league, what you did last season. How do you take that responsibility now? People will expect more from you.
Yeah, that's the thing. But that's nice, and I'm proud of what I did last season together with my teammates. And I hope we can do it again as a unit. And that's what we talked about in meetings. That now it's a new season, and now we start all over again, and we have to prepare. So I think we've done a good job now in pre-season and the first 2 games in the CONCACAF against Pumas. So yeah, I think we're ready for Saturday.
Last season you were involved in a lot on scoring and both assisting. This year, if you have to choose one, what would you like to have the most? More goals or more assists?
For me, that doesn't matter. I like to assist because then I know my teammates, they score. Of course, I like to score goals. But in the end, like for me, the most important thing is that we win games. It's a lot more fun to go out here and when you win in the weekend. So yeah, hope I would like to assist even more.
What can fans expect to see, especially with the home game this Saturday? What can we expect from you, especially with all the enthusiasm that we see from the community?
Hopefully I know we will keep playing the same way of football, excite people, and hopefully it's gonna be a nice, first home opener against Montreal. It's gonna be tough. We know that, but I'm also looking forward to see all the fans again and feel the energy from them. They know how important they are for us, so I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, I can't wait for it.
You guys signed the Right to Dream Academy player today. That now makes 5 teenagers on this squad for the first team. How important is it to implement those guys like Bombino, Soma, and Vasquez into this team for like the future of this club?
No, it's so important. The youth, they are the future. I know I'm one of the older now, but it's nice to see guys like we mentioned, Bombino, like what he did last season, improving so much and still so humble. It's so nice, and I know for sure that more young guys will be able to take that step, and it's just a matter of who. But it's nice to have a lot of good talent in the squad. It makes it tough for the older guys to handle them on the pitch because they're so good. But yeah, it's nice, and we enjoy to have them here. And like you said, we signed a new Right to Dream academy player now, and that's nice. And he's a good player, and I'm looking forward to play with him as well.
As a veteran, how do you kind of look after those players? Because they're going to be prone to making mistakes. How do you kind of take them under your wing to kind of grow them into the professional game?
I think that's the way we do it here in Right to Dream. That it's okay to make mistakes, and they have the feeling that they can make a mistake, and we will not be over them when they do that. And that's important. That they have the confidence to try again and not just do it one time.
How do you expect teams to play you this year differently than maybe they did last year? Now they've had a whole year to see you and your film and your unique style of play.
Yeah, I think like the couple game we played last year. I think the team try to come here to press maybe man marking 1-against-1 in all field, and I think this is why we try to work in this preseason a little bit more, because we know we have the quality to bring normal pressure of the other team. But I think it's sometime last year we are in a little bit trouble when the other team come to press 1-against-1. I think now we try to fix that problem early, and maybe we expect Montreal come to press Saturday 1-against-1, and we have to be ready for that challenge.
Aníbal, what can you tell us about your thoughts on Pedro Soma now that he's broken into the starting lineup?
Yeah, I think it's good for him. He working hard this year in the preseason. He come with different mentality. I think he's a good player. He tried to help us in different situations. I think I feel happy for him because he improved a lot. He improve every day, and I think if he have the chance, he have to take it.
What's with all these teenagers running around? You guys got all the teenagers. You guys got a bunch of really young players out here.
Yeah, I think we have right now we have so many young team player, and also we have so many injury. We have to be ready to try to the other guys step forward to try to create really good group. And because we need from everyone here, and we know we have 2 tournaments, and it's difficult when you have like short squad to try to compete in the 2 tournaments. But I think we have a big challenge, and we are ready for everything this year.
You got a couple of meaningful matches under your belt already. How big an advantage is that to play really intense games going into your season opener?
Yeah, I think for us in this preseason, it's short preseason, but I think this is the big challenge we have in off-season, in the holiday, to try to come ready in the preseason, to try to be ready to play in both tournaments, and also you have travel, now we have to travel to Toluca in maybe 3 weeks, and you start to feel inside the team when you play 90 minutes and try to get rotation. I think we have to be ready in every single moment, and also from the young guys, I think it's a good opportunity because for sure they have the opportunity to play, and we have to be ready.
Aníbal, has pasado más de una década aquí en los Estados Unidos representando en la MLS a diferentes equipos. Ahora tienes esta nueva aventura con San Diego. ¿Cómo la afrontas tú? Seguramente disfrutando como un jugador veterano que eres ya, pero seguramente sabiendo que aquí hay una gran oportunidad de seguir creciendo, sobre todo en este nuevo equipo donde ya tienes un año, ¿no?
Bueno, sí, creo que contento, primero por estar otra vez aquí, afrontar este reto una vez más, un lindo año que nos espera como equipo, como club. Como dije, creo que enfrentar un torneo internacional en nuestro primer año ya es una ganancia, pues el club está preparado para eso y yo en lo personal creo que estoy trabajando mucho fuera de la cancha para seguir aportando a lo que pueda dentro del equipo y creo estar preparado para todo. Es lo importante, seguir este año cosechando muchas cosas y ojalá podamos conseguir grandes cosas con este club.
Aníbal, what are you looking forward to in getting this team's second season in MLS underway this Saturday at home?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game for us. I think we try to use also the energy of the fans. You know, I think we have a great fans. We have a great people here in San Diego. The people love football. The people love to watch the game. The Snapdragon. You know, I think for us it's great to feel that help or that the help of the fans, you know. I think this Saturday in opening game, I think it can be a great game for us, and we have to be ready for this challenge.
¿Alguna otra pregunta en español?
Sí, mencionas un poco sobre los aficionados y lo importante que es tenerlos. Nos tocó ver el partido de Pumas que muchos fans viajaron a la Ciudad de México a apoyarlos. ¿Qué tan importante es tenerlos fuera de casa y cuántos esperas que haya también en el partido contra Toluca?
Sí, creo que desde que si ves los fans que cuando vinieron aquí al centro de entrenamiento, creo que eso no es normal dentro de la cultura de MLS y ese calor de tenerlos aquí antes de empezar un torneo creo que es importante para nosotros, para el grupo y no solo aquí, creo que yo en cada partido que estamos dentro del Snapdragon se siente la presión, se siente esa euforia de los fans, creo que son unos fanáticos muy especiales dentro de la MLS, se lo digo, y creo que hay muy pocos fanáticos como los fans de San Diego, entonces creo que eso para nosotros como grupo es esencial, tenerlo a ellos en cada partido, porque no es fácil jugar sin fanáticos, creo que sin fanáticos no hay fútbol y creo que ellos son parte importante, pilar de este proyecto.
¿Qué cosas tan importantes están haciendo en San Diego para que los fans respondan de esa manera?
Bueno, si uno gana, va todo bien. Creo que por ahí ojalá sigamos ganando, cosechando buenas cosas, porque creo que cuando todo va bien es fácil. Ojalá sigamos por ese camino. Todavía no nos ha tocado, como se dice, esa crisis en el fútbol y ver si los fans son fiel, pero hasta ahora están siendo fiel. Y creo que esa es la parte importante. El equipo está ganando, el equipo está compitiendo bien y creo que eso hace que cada vez se incluyan más fans dentro de San Diego FC.
Aníbal, al ser uno de los jugadores con más experiencia dentro del equipo, esta es una nueva temporada, pero la anterior fue histórica, alcanzaron hasta una final. ¿Cuáles son las expectativas y los retos en esa segunda temporada para ustedes?
Creo que lo mismo que el año pasado. Creo que el año pasado, por más que éramos un nuevo equipo, una nueva franquicia dentro de la liga, creo que la cultura y la mentalidad desde arriba hasta abajo siempre fue ganar y creo que ese es el hambre que tenemos que tener todavía. Por más que hicimos una gran temporada, creo que si no hay hambre, por más que juguemos bien, las cosas se van a complicar. Entonces ese hambre que teníamos el año pasado no lo podemos perder este año y hay que seguir inculcando esas cosas, esas culturas, esos detalles, porque creo que eso es lo que te da. Más del fútbol, creo que el hambre, la gana de ganar son los que te dan muchas cosas dentro de esta carrera futbolística.
Mikey, real quick, your thoughts on expectations for season number 2 after as much success as you had last year?
Yeah, the expectations are that we help strengthen the roots that we laid, that foundation we laid last year, and that every single person involved from the moment they get out of their car to the moment they get back in their car every day in this facility gives everything to make sure that happens.
What valuable information did the team learn from last year's results that will help them make it better this year?
I think there's a relational information level where we know each other better, right? So we've been through things together, and I think that's already one step in the right direction. Then in terms of familiarity of our own style of play and the environment and who we want to be collectively. And then lastly, I think we're really clear on different ways teams might approach playing us.
What are some of those? Aníbal just said you've been spending a lot of preseason working on that, on what you think teams might do. How do you approach that? I mean, do you have a pretty good idea what teams are going to do, or is it a little bit of guesswork?
It's opponent to opponent is a little bit different, and then it's a little bit of it's analyzing who they are, but then also trying to estimate and guess what adjustments might they make based on how we play, because especially in possession, our shape is a lot more compact than other shapes. It's a little bit different than other teams, so you can't expect them to play us the same exact way. Like, you might think, oh, that space is going to be open, that space is going to be open, but it might not be open against us. And then ultimately we think teams will have more teams that try to match us man for man and go really high. And then we think that the other thing that we'll see is this kind of mid to lower block and just take away the middle of the field and see how we deal with that situation.
So you've been working on that?
Yeah, we've been trying to work on the scenarios that we think could be most relevant.
Is that sort of the next level for this team to identify those things and just?
Yeah, something we talk about a lot is we want to get even better at traveling together, so being a real compact team. And then the other thing is to take what the opponent gives us, to recognize how they're playing us or what adjustments they make in the game, and then exploit that.
Is your squad fully healthy, or is there anybody that we're not going to see for a week or two?
No changes since the only change since the last game is Lewis, who keeps taking steps in the right direction. So we're not 100% if we're going to see him, but he's getting closer and closer. So that's really nice to see.
What can we expect from the goalkeeper position? I know Pablo got that red card.
Yeah, we're going to start Duran at goal. And the reason is that CJ's still in a return to play protocol. This is also why Pablo started the Champions Cup. So right now, it's CJ's main priority is getting back, because it was a serious injury and he missed a lot of training time. So he needs time to readapt his body to the speed of play and just the positional needs that he has. He's definitely going to get there. And then once he does, it's going to be a pure competition again. But right now, Pablo will be leading the charge when he's available, and Duran will be the next man up, and then CJ is ready if needed.
And the goal last year was to make the playoffs. What would you say the goal is this year, and what does the team need to do to achieve that?
I think that the goal last year was to fight for playoffs, if I remember what I said correctly. But the bigger goal was to lay a foundation for the culture, style of play, and have that winning mentality. This year, it's about trying to find consistency with what we started last year, and finding little ways to improve it, make that next step. But the most important thing, again, is can we improve? Can we improve in our style of play, in our intensity, in our quality, and how well we work together? And if we do that, we give ourselves the best chance of having a good season.
You've got a full year in the system now. It's been integrated, it's been installed. How much further along are you right now than you were at this point last year going with LA?
Yeah, I mean, we played a Champions Cup match after 3.5 weeks of training, and the guys played at a pretty good level. So, and that was 2 weeks ago. We couldn't have done that last year, for sure. We were much further behind. So right now, it's we're trying to take advantage of the work that was done last year, which means working just as hard right now. And I know that the entire team is committed to really giving everything and going for this season the same way, because if we just do the right things again this year, regardless of the results, we have the opportunity of setting some institutional habits that will set the club up for success long term.
And then going back to Duran, we've seen him working around here for a year now. We saw him with Loyal before that. We don't see him on the pitch all that often, except for a short time last year. How much has he improved? How good is he really right now?
Yeah, he's a top young player. And listen, he stepped into some tough situations in games, and he made big saves, and that's part of the reason he's getting this opportunity. And we have the flexibility of giving CJ a little bit longer of a runway to get his fitness and his playing rhythm back. And that's because Duran has showed us that he's a more than capable goalkeeper, and we really trust him with his feet. He's fantastic. He's got a great demeanor for the big moment. You can tell that he's calm under pressure, and he's really excited to show his hometown, what he's got.
You made a signing for the right field academy player that now makes 5 teenagers on the first team. Why is it so important to integrate these guys into the roster, especially because the other 4 have already kind of earned a lot of appearances so far?
Yeah, man, when you look back at what our mission is, it's to win together, to play our football, and then to develop our individuals. And that goes for staff, but that especially goes for young players. Ultimately, we want to be a player in the global market as we continue to grow as a club, and that means investing in young players, setting conditions for them to develop, and giving them opportunities to thrive.
Those young players are kind of more than likely more prone to make mistakes. How do you let them make those mistakes on the field so that they can learn from it, but also juggle with the fact that you need to secure points?
Yeah, the main thing we talk to them about is they're not going to be given anything, so they have to earn it. It's us seeing in training enough consistency that we can trust them to go out there. Then ultimately, we don't worry about the mistakes so much because everybody makes mistakes. And I think if we take a real close lens at who's making mistakes, I would venture to say that it's all the ages out there. But the more important thing for us is how do they respond to those mistakes? Do they learn from them quickly? And are they able to come back from them? And are they able to show that they're not making the same mistake over and over again? Then we really trust in the trajectory of their development.
The advantages of having a year together as a club seem pretty obvious. Anders said that sometimes the second year of a club can be tricky or tough in certain ways. Is there anything in particular that you see that you want to avoid in a second year that maybe other clubs could fall victim to?
I think forgetting what gave you the chances of having the season that you had the year before. And that goes for your second year or any club in the next year, right? So when you do something special or almost special, which I think we got almost special, but I think in the big context of things, we also did something special. It can be a natural reaction for people to relax. That was hard. Wow. And that's just something that we won't accept. Here at this club, we want to have this relentless pursuit of winning, relentless pursuit of who we want to be from a culture and a style of play perspective. So right now, it's been a lot of emphasis on we need to not only take the same steps we took last year in our preparation, but we need to take those steps even better now. And we know that in the beginning of a club, this has to be very mindful, and you have to really push yourself to do it. If we do it long enough, this group of players will be the ones who will set the tone for the club for the rest of history in terms of what's just the normal.
Did you appeal Pablo's red card and the fact that you didn't go try to get a more experienced keeper for this situation? That just speak to your confidence in Duran?
Yeah, it definitely speaks to the confidence in Duran and also CJ, right? Like, let's either one of those guys can step in the goal and do the job, and then we appeal all of those situations, even if regardless of it being the goalkeeper position.
Is it 1, 2, 3? Well, how many games is it?
Just one.
Just one.
We'll go with Spanish questions next.
Buenas tardes, profesor. Somos de Panamá. Queríamos preguntarle para usted qué significa un jugador como Aníbal Godoy, su experiencia para que pueda contagiar también lo que mencionó los colegas, que hay muchos jóvenes dentro del equipo, y qué significa también para usted tener un jugador que capitán de la selección de Panamá.
Un privilegio tener un jugador como Aníbal, que también es muy importante, una pieza clave en su selección también, porque trae mucha pasión, es un tipo que es muy honesto en el trabajo, en su liderazgo, es un tipo que fuera de la cancha todo el mundo lo ama porque es un tipo que se acerca a los jovencitos, a todo el mundo. Y para nosotros él es muy importante porque muchas veces cuando el partido se pone muy difícil, es uno de los jugadores que tiene esa posibilidad de traer una energía o una emoción, una pasión que nos hace cambiar un poquito el flow del partido.
¿Cómo está el equipo para el arranque de la temporada, de su segundo año?
Ya estamos listos para ir por esta temporada, como lo hicimos el año pasado.
Pero es diferente ahora con la CONCACAF Champions, ¿no? ¿Cómo va a dividir el plantel? Obviamente falta todavía para el otro partido, pero es el bicampeón. ¿Cómo va a preparar al equipo? Pensando en MLS y CONCACAF Champions.
Primero y principal, lo más importante es este partido que tenemos en 2 días. Y el enfoque tiene que ser el día a día. ¿Qué estamos haciendo cuando llegamos al complejo y cuando salimos del complejo? Y qué partidos nos queda enfrente. Pero es verdad que en este año vamos a jugar 2 campeonatos ya de una. Y vamos a necesitar un equipo grande, un plantel grande, donde todo el mundo puede participar. Y va a haber partidos donde jugadores que no han jugado tantos minutos va a tener que jugar minutos y no bajar el rendimiento del equipo.
Y sobre el tema de Pablo, profe, ¿qué tanto ha crecido? Empezó como suplente, termina como titular por las circunstancias, pero cumple muy bien. Se habla incluso de que a nivel de selección pueda hasta levantar la mano. ¿Usted cómo lo ve?
Yo creo que es un mérito del persona, primero que nada, porque es un tipo muy honesto, un tipo trabajador y un tipo muy abierto para aprender. Y esta gente que tienen esta motivación para trabajar todos los días y también la humildad para ser muy abierto, para aprender, siempre tienen chances y obviamente tiene talento también.
Mikey, ¿qué tan importante es arrancar la temporada jugando aquí en casa con la afición de San Diego? ¿Y qué aspectos para mejorar en esta temporada en comparación con la anterior?
Yo creo que es buenísimo porque el estadio Snapdragon siempre tiene esa energía que ayuda mucho al equipo. Y yo creo que lo que tenemos que hacer mejor este año es tener esa viveza de qué espacios nos está dando el rival. Y si podemos analizar bien en campo qué ajustes están haciendo el rival y cómo nos están defendiendo, yo creo que tenemos potencial para crear más oportunidades de gol.
Se anunció el fichaje del nuevo jugador joven. ¿Cómo se ha adaptado el grupo? ¿Qué características tiene?
Sí, Brian es un jugador muy potente, entonces muy rápido. Sus movimientos a la espalda son muy rápidos, son muy buenas. También es muy bueno en el 1 contra 1 y también para mí tiene muy buen olfato de gol. Llega muy bien a los áreas donde el gol puede venir. Pero es jovencito, acaba de cumplir 18 y también necesita tiempo para aprender muchas cosas al nivel profesional, pero tiene mucho potencial.
Siguiendo un poco ese aprendizaje, justamente hoy cumpleaños, y nos toca entender, quiero saber más bien cuál sea tu filosofía detrás de darle ese ánimo al jugador para que pueda equivocarse, para que enseñarle, ¿sabes qué? Te equivocaste, esta es la manera. Recuerdo que Alex Ferguson decía, no importa si pierdes el balón, si te la quitan, yo lo que quiero ver es que encares. ¿Cuál será tu filosofía con los nuevos jugadores?
Bueno, nosotros hablamos de jugar con iniciativa, entonces muy similar a lo que dijo Sir Alex. Y también nosotros hablamos mucho de que vamos a hacer un build-up. El único build-up malo es el que no tiene una transición fantástico. Entonces, porque el fútbol es un juego de errores. La pelota se pierde. Pero esa actitud tras pérdida es lo más fundamental, porque podemos jugar con riesgo y podemos errar cuando sabemos que tenemos ese paracaídas, que es esa transición agresivo y fuerte. Si no tenemos esa transición, tenemos que preocuparnos mucho más de los errores. Entonces hemos hecho acá un contrato entre todos que se puede jugar libre, se puede jugar sin miedo de cometer errores, pero el transición tiene que ser siempre perfecto.
Y nos tocó la temporada pasada un muy buen desempeño de San Diego. ¿Qué te gustaría que se caracterizara el San Diego de este año?
Un equipo consistente en cómo encaran un partido y también cómo son fuera de la cancha. al nivel de valores y un equipo que siempre va por el partido, que se muestra esa iniciativa para ir por el partido a marcar goles.
Profe, todos los jugadores van a
Última
tener el
pregunta.
mundial. Aparte de 2 torneos, jugadores que pueden ir al mundial. ¿Qué dice este año 2026 en la MLS mundial?
Yo creo que es un año para soñar si amas al fútbol, porque hay mucho fútbol en este país este año. Para nosotros al nivel de club va a ser importante que manejamos esa segunda temporada bien y que podemos cambiar el chip después del mundial. Yo creo que los clubes que hacen el mejor trabajo en eso va a tener ventaja terminando el año. Y también queremos ayudar a lo más posible que llegan a su selección para un mundial, porque no hay un honor más grande que representar tu país en un mundial.
En ese sentido, ¿no le preocupa la cantidad de partidos que se van a jugar? Hay muchos partidos seguidos, hay que manejar las cargas de los jugadores, hay unos que ya están más avanzados en la edad.
Sí, nosotros no tenemos miedo de cambiar el equipo, de rotar, porque si el jugador está entrenando bien y está mostrando que podemos tener confianza en él, es mejor. Entonces, más jugadores en el plantel que sabemos que pueden rendir, mejor. Y estamos trabajando en eso ahora para tener no un grupo de 14 jugadores, pero un grupo de 20, 22 jugadores que pueden aportar.